How's it going, everybody? James, Online Car Show. Got an exciting video for y'all today. Got an install and review on the Mishimoto oil catch can with the red silicone lines. It is raining and a nasty day here in Houston, as the weekends have been here lately, but oh well. So I didn't go to Houston Cars and Coffee today. It was just too nasty. None of the exotics will be out or anything like that. I do have good news. We have the new Online Car Show shirts too. I'm going to give you all a little clip here of them. As you can see the front, I've got the logo, red with black, OnlineCarShow.net. And on the back side, we've got my famous line, I guess, from the Flowmaster video. That shit sounds badass. But let's get back to the video at hand. And without hesitation, let's get this started. Online Car Show. Just to go over, I guess, the oil catch cans in the car. A lot of people don't know, or there's seems to be a lot of drama around it. Do they actually work? Is it worth the investment? Yada yada. Basically, if you go through my old videos with the Corvette, put them on 3 different cars, and as you can see on the Corvette video, I pulled about half an inch to an inch of oil in a coffee cup every single oil change in the car. So that's oil that would have gone into the intake manifold and gunked up the valves, which is bad for the engine, especially with the direct port injection. So in my opinion, it is totally worth the money, and anything that can, make the life of your engine last longer is always better. Plus, if you are adding a cold air intake or anything that's going to increase the flow of oil to the car, or increase the flow of air to the car and increase your crankcase pressures, you want to go ahead and add the catch can no matter what. Also, if you're going with a boosted situation like a supercharger or a turbo, you probably want to go a full breather setup, and you can get one of those from LMR, late model racecraft. That's really good. They're about $700, $800. For this application and where I'm at with the car, there's no need, to go with anything crazy. So I'm going to install the Mishimoto oil catch can system baffled setup with a red silicone line kit. I was worried about the red silicone lines not matching, but I think it looked pretty good, as you can see in the video, and I'm going to eventually get the radiator lines and stuff like that, so it'll look better in the future. But let's get into the install, see how it looks, and go from there. And be sure to keep watching. Here in a month or two, I'll have a conclusion video showing me empty the first little bit of oil out of the catch can, so you can see that. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and check back here in a month, and be on the lookout for that video. All right, just so we know what tools are needed for the job, we've got a 17mm wrench needed for the inlet and outlet on the catch can. Got a flathead screwdriver needed to tighten down the clamps. 13mm, it doesn't need to be a deep socket, just 13mm socket. For the mount, you're going to need an extension, not necessary, but makes it a little easier. And you're going to need a wrench, or socket wrench, and that should be all the tools you need for this to get it done. All right, just to give you a quick unboxing, this is the Mishimoto oil catch can baffled with the red silicone hose. Packaging was, I would just give it an average. As you can see, there's some empty space in here for things to jiggle around for UPS delivery. Granted, these are pretty heavy-duty parts. I don't see them really getting damaged by that anyways, but could be improved upon a little bit. As we get in here, as I mentioned, this is the red hose kit. Now, reason why I went with red, it is, different, and it is going to look a little lopsided on the car because you're going to have red hoses on one side, but black everywhere else. I am planning on changing out all the radiator and coolant hoses with red silicone, so in the future, it will look a little better. I did already cut into this, so we can open it up. Nice little logo on them. Mishimoto genuine parts. It's really good quality. Couple layers in there of weave. Their push button system's a little different than, okay, you push both sides on theirs. Unlike what's stock in the car, you push one side, only has one button. This one has two. And there's the hoses. Let's see what else we got here. Inlet lines, an outlet, and for the catch can, and true screws and washer. I'm guessing that's the top. And box, Mishimoto 2170 steel bracket. This is the mounting bracket. Didn't open this one up. Pretty decent quality, just painted steel. We've got a little advertisement. Looks like a Mishimoto rearview window. Rearview window right here. That's kind of cool. Let's see what else we got here. Guided performance cooling. Random marketing stuff, some pretty cool stuff in there. Program, rewards program. Lifetime warranty. Instructions on the installation guide is in here, where to go to get it on. All their products. Nice little marketing pamphlet. Get those out. Next we've got the catch can itself, I hope. Yeah. Here's the catch can. Nice little stamp on there, in, out. Well, there we go. Real tight thread pattern there, I like that. Baffle system, plus it looks like it's got some type of filter. I don't know if you can see that good in the video, but some kind of filter there. The baffle itself. And what's going to happen is air breeze through the system, you know, traveling up from the crankcase to the intake. It's going to filter through here, through the baffles, and should catch any liquid at least. Now, what kind of system you should use on your car? I would recommend, honestly, an oil catch can from anything stock up to a cam. And if you get into blowers or turbo, you should probably switch over to a full breather system. This is going to clean out the liquid, and it might get some of the fumes, oil fumes, but this will at least clean any main liquid out of the airflow. Now, if you go to a full breather system, that's also going to clean a lot of the oil vapors out. So just know this type of setup is only going to cover you from stock to maybe a cam. You know, headers and tune, you're good with this. But if you plan to go beyond that, you should check out like LMR's website or something like that. I know they have a full breather system that's real nice. If you plan to supercharge it, or if you already have a supercharged car, you should really look into a full breather system. But I only plan on probably camming and tune headers this, so catch can should be just perfect for me. All right, now we're going to get into actually putting this on the car and see how it looks. All right, step one of any project under the hood needs to be to protect your paint. Just jeans rubbing up against it and so forth can scratch the paint on the car. So just put something over it real quick. If you don't have mats like I do, I'm using, as you can see, a yoga mat, then an old Corvette hood mat I had. And that works great. But if you don't have mats, you can use, I believe, saran wrap, plastic wrap over it. A lot of shops do that nowadays instead of actually using these, just because it's a lot less to deal with. Now, what we're trying to accomplish here, just so you guys know, you can do this really in any order you want. But one of the stages, we need to mount the catch can. We need to we'll install the lines on the catch can, mount the catch can, and then take off this tube here and run it in place. So basically what we're trying to do here is this tube right here is communicating air up from the crankcase into the intake. And what we're going to do is remove it, and in place of this one little tube that's going between the engine and the intake, we're going to run a line over here through the catch can, and it's going to come back. So basically it cleans the air going into the intake is what's going on. Well, it's going to clean any liquid. And so, you've got a way I'm thinking about doing this is getting my mount settled out. You do have to unscrew 2 suspension bolts here, so do not mess with your, don't jack up your vehicle during this process. In fact, I'm going to do it real quick, screw it back on, and get that part out of the way. And so I'm going to do that first, then I'm going to mount the catch can inlet tube and outlet tubes to the catch can itself, get them mounted up on the vehicle. Then I'm going to unplug from here and run my lines to the engine and intake. And at that time, we should be all complete. One other thing here, just to access, or I don't even think I really need to do that, but on their Mishimoto's, and in fact, they said you don't have to do it. They actually removed the intake, and that's what that 10 millimeter socket's used for. That's not really a needed step. Even with me with the painted intake, I'm not going to do that. Just to give, I don't even think I need to do this, but just to give a little more access here, all I'm going to do is pull up on this side of your fuel rail covers. As you can see, it's got a little catch over here, one over here, pops up, and then there's 2 tabs that are basically holding it in place on this side. So we're just going to go outward that way, and you're going to have to go around. That's where you might want to be careful if you have a painted intake. Take it out, good to go. Now we've got a little bit better, as you can see, the pipe now that we're going to take out. It's right there. All right. Looking at this, it looks like the mount's going to need to be on the ups. Yeah, there's no way it's going to work that way. So you're going to need to have it mounted. I don't know if you can see this with how dark it is being black, but just so you can see the angle here. It's going from the mount with the 2 screws or 2 bolts upward to the catch can. And it's going to be facing actually almost parallel with the bumper or the seats and so forth. So that's how we're going to get it mounted. So we're going to need our 13 millimeter socket here and wrench and maybe an extension. Not the adapter, there we go. And I'm basically just gonna loosen these suckers up. Now, I shouldn't think you would need any, this is going to tweak your suspension anyway. Only thing that these, this is doing, it's basically almost like a strut tower brace. It's connecting the firewall to the struts on the suspension. So this isn't going to affect your alignment or anything like that. No need to worry about that. Get this one last screw off. Hopefully it doesn't move here. Shouldn't. good to go. Put this sucker on there. Hopefully it finds the threads right. There they are, maybe. I think. So tight, there it is. That one's much easier. All right. Switch direction. Screw that bad boy down. As you can tell, a GM had these tight. They weren't super tight. You want to tighten them pretty good, but 40, 50 pounds maybe. Not too bad. I don't think you're going to snap those bolts anyways if you put too much. Sorry about that again. So, got a secure mounting point going on. I think we're good to go on that angle. All right, now we're going to take our, I'm using a 17 millimeter, but it's really tight on there. On their video, their installation video, it said a wrench size that didn't work. So 17 millimeters seems to be fitting, but very snug. So it may be Imperial. And we don't want to super get this tight, but we want to, you know, snug fit it on there. Let me put a better angle for y'all to see. Sorry about that. So I'm bringing it all the way, just flush here. Doesn't matter which one goes on in, which one goes on out. Actually, I'm going to bring it all the way flush because that's pretty damn tight. It's just plastic, so maybe a half or quarter twist from tight on it, or snug against the wall. Alright, that worked. Ooh. Screw my thread. I said you don't want to go super tight with pressure. About the same spot. Here you have your in, output is on. Alright, now all we want to do here is, like I said, that we need to take this hose off, and you're going to have it pop, be a button somewhere on it. Like I said, the GM button, or the button on the car will only be on one side, toward the motor, of course. There's one of them. This top one. Let's see. It's actually toward the motor too, so to get to it I actually twisted. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I twisted it upward, and then you'll have access to the actual button that way on the bottom, and push it in and pull it out. Alright, so this one is going the motor, so we're going to wire it under the injector wiring harness and under the what's this, the valve breather. And this one, as I said, into the engine, maybe. I should just push right in, I hope. Maybe. Alright, I already clicked there. I think we're golden. Alright, there's one. Now for the throttle body side. Oh, if it needs to run underneath or not. I'm going to run underneath one and maybe on top of the other. You can see how that looks. I may come back and put it underneath the other as well, or the wiring harness as well. But for right now, let's just see how this looks.
Should not be this difficult. Sorry about the delay there. I actually had a hard time getting this sucker on. I had to double check on their instructions and so forth that I was doing right. And you've really just got to, what I did in the end, I put one hand like this, one like this, and just really just kind of pushed on it. And I finally felt it go over a lip in there, and she's snug now. And I'm almost wishing now that I went under that too. So I'm gonna run it under there. Both of them get run under. Port. And I didn't run it under there. Great. So y'all will get to see me put it back in. All right, that was a lot easier that time. So there we go. And this should be our, I think that's the outlet port on it. It's gonna be in the right order anyways. Yeah, this is gonna be our outlets. What we're gonna do now is put this on, screw it down, put the other side on, and screw it down. I may actually just loosely fit this, would probably be the smarter move. So I'm gonna put my, definitely don't want to lose these little screws in the engine. And like I said, we don't need to tighten these down yet, so I'm not even getting the Allen wrench yet. Just snap. Screw them, you know, 4 or 5 thread patterns in, so it's not going to fall. Make sure you put the washer in between the nut and the catch can. Alright, I've got that pretty loose on there so I can finagle it. And I'm going to put the outlet. This is the one that is going to the throttle body. And just to cover up our screws, make sure you have them on the, you know, downward side. It may need to be a little bit angled up just because when you screw it in, it is going to go a little bit down. With this one. Y'all don't need to see how these screw in. So then we're going to go to our inlet side, which is marked inlet on the catch can. And it is actually, be like that. Ooh. And I'm actually going to turn the screw around the other direction. That way I can access my screwdriver this way to it. I think that'll be easier. Maybe regret that in the end, but we'll see. So y'all know how to screw these down. So basically that's going to finish it here. I'll get you a quick shot when I get done. I want to clean up all my wires here, our lines, and let you see what the end product looks like. Here it is on the car. Just to let y'all know, I did run a little bit different than y'all saw in the video. I think I had them both coming behind this wiring harness here. The one going upward to the throttle body, and then I think that's the out. I still need to tighten the Allens down, but this one right here actually goes around the wiring harness, but it does go on the inside. Goes around the wiring harness here, or right there, and the other one goes inside of it. So this is the one going to the throttle body, and has this, you know, elbow here going to the output, I think. That one is actually going to go around the wiring harness, and this one's going to go inside. The other one's going to go inside of it. So that I did have that a little wrong. I fixed it, but I think it looks great on it. Even with the red, I was worried it was going to, you know, look kind of funny in the car, but actually I'm really glad I did the red now. I think black would have been a mistake. That looks really freaking clean. And when I get the red radiator hoses and so forth, it's going to look real good. One quick note on this too, you do want to start it up afterward. If you do run any kind of check engine lights or anything like that, you probably have a vacuum leak, which means it's one of these lines just needs to be tightened up a little bit more. It's probably back here on the screw side, or you just don't have one of these pushed in far enough. You, make sure you heard the click on both of them when you pushed them in, and that, you know, pull back on them, make sure they're good and they're snug before you start your motor. and make sure lines here are good. You know, pull on them, make sure they're snug there. We seem good to go. Once I get that catch can tightened down, and we'll start her up. And if you come back here, hear any issues or whatnot, I would just retighten all your lines, or if you run a CEL check engine light. I'm gonna follow up with a video. Got about 2,500 miles in the vehicle right now. I'm gonna follow up with a video about 5,000 or 5,500, and actually about 5,000, and let y'all see what all's in the can. All right. Thanks for watching my videos. I would consider this a must-have. You don't know Mishimoto, do the RX catch can, or Moroso makes one, but it doesn't have the wires. Or the pipes. You're gonna have to figure that part out, which isn't too bad. But there you have it. I think this is a must-have mod on any muscle car. Before you start modding, as you can see, I just did the intake, and I really should have put that on beforehand. But my reasoning behind that was to get rid of the sound tube, which is going to be right where the catch can is sitting right now. So I got rid of that sound tube before I got to the catch can. So that was my thinking in that. That's why I did it that way. But let me know in the comments what y'all think, man. I think this is, I'm glad I went with the Mishimoto. It looks really good in the car. The lines look good. And they've, like I said, they got that red silicone line kit to balance it out a little better in the engine bay. All right, everybody, thanks for watching the video. As you can see in the install, it ended up looking really good in the car. Only issue I had, I guess, with the Mishimoto thing, the packaging could have been just slightly better. But all in all, I mean, compared to what you can see from some of these mods, it was, you know, I'd give it an 8 or a 9. So it wasn't too bad. As far as the rest of the kit, so far, everything went really good. The mounting and all that seems in a really good spot. The lines, you know, were kind of built for the car, the way they bend and shape and all that. It looks like, you know, it was kind of built into the car. So I like the way it looks. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But also, those that are interested in purchasing a shirt, I may put in an order or something at the end of the month. Send me an email. I'll probably sell the first batch, unfortunately, for about $25 a shirt. That is my cost. That's actually just passing on the cost of getting them made in low volume. But also, we be sure to check out the Musclepalooza car show. Those of you that are in Houston, it's coming up March 3rd. It's gonna be a big show. It may already be sold out, I'm not sure. You'll have to check the West Houston Muscle website and YouTube channel to see the details of that. But that's gonna be a big show. They had a Yenko Camaro there 2 years ago. They trailered in, so be sure to check that out if you're in Houston. Also, be on the lookout for upcoming video next. I'm going to be, of course, reviewing the radar detector as promised, and also I've got a reverse taillight tent kit that we're going to put on. So be on the lookout for those videos coming up in the next 2 weeks. Thanks, everybody, and y'all have a great week.